We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hi.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butala.
And I'm Jill DeWitt.
Did you forget who you are?
A little bit. Broadcasting from perfect Phoenix, Arizona.
Today, Jill and I talk about the number one reason you may not be doing as many deals as possible.
And no, it's not answering the phone. That starts it. But that's not the only reason.
And no, it's not because your pricing sucks.
That's right.
It's not those two.
It's because your pricing was just too good and they don't realize it. It's so perfect. These guys are idiots. That's not it.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. If you're already a member, you can use Land Investors if you want, but join us on Discord.
Use both.
Yeah.
Okay, because there's good information in both. I have to say, if you're a brand new member, if you're not using the search function and utilizing landinvestors.com, you're missing it. Because there's so much information. There's
3,000
6.5 years of comments and people and
3,000
situations.
pages of questions.
That there's a lot of things that have already been addressed that can really help you that are in landinvestors.com. It's a great resource. And it's free to the planet. So go get an account. Shannon and James wrote, I spoke with a lady today who has 2.5 acres on a road with access and another pair of 1.25 acres behind it with no road access. She responded to my mailer from the 1.25 acre offer. She'd like to sell all 5 acres, so 2.5 acre the pair, and then the pair at the 1.25. We got it at one time. And she's made it known that she just doesn't want to sell the 2.5 acres with the access. Totally agree. Should I make an offer on all 5 acres? Yes. However, break up the pricing for the non-access pair on the 1.25 acre lots.
Nope.
I see where they're going here. Hold,
So do
please. Or should I move on because she doesn't want to sell me the 2.5 acres that has the access, which is what I really like to purchase. Thank you, Shannon and James. You want the 5 acres. So you know, if you need to, I don't really need you to be this guy or this couple. Like, look, I'm not paying as much for the back acres as I am for the front acres because the access is here. So here's my offer. You could do that, but I don't condone that. Just give her an offer for all 5 acres. Love it. This is great. And down the road, if somebody else wants to do something with them, that's on them. They want to create access to the back half. That's great. They can do that too. I would just buy all 5.
Or nothing.
Yeah.
You'll see if they're a seller pretty quickly.
Yeah.
You need access. Property needs to have access this day and age. If you go back to last week, there's a question and a topic about access that explains it, why it's so important. So there's a time in my career when I bought a lot of accessless property very inexpensively and resold it, disclosing that it has no access. So there's a whole business model there, but the time in our career right now is to buy property with access.
Right. I look at it this way. She happens to have 5 acres on a road with 3 APNs.
That's exactly how I would look at this deal, Jill.
Mm-hmm.
You're my girl.
Thank you.
Today's topic, the number one reason you may not be doing as many deals as possible. This is the meat of the show.
Here's a scoop. I have found a number of individuals that are frustrated with their deal flow. I ask how many offers I send out, and that's not the problem. I don't even really talk about, and if you notice, if we've done consulting and we've talked about this, I don't ask you how'd you price it. I want to know how many got out there. That's really all I care about. I'm sure if you learn from this guy, you did a good job or a good enough job that these offers all went out. You didn't send an offer for $1 to everybody and put a perfumed letter in there with your lip print on it. If you did that, that wasn't us, and don't do that. So you sent a solid offer. Yeah, maybe it was too high, maybe it was too low. Who cares? But you got thousands of offers out, and you're scratching your head going, why am I not doing more deals? Well, guess what? There's an easy fix, and it's not just answer the phone. You got to work them. You need to go at it, because I just had a consulting call with this very recently. And this person was trying to throw in the towel after days, not weeks, after days, gone, shoot, I think I had a bust there. And I'm like, well, hold on a moment. What was the response? And the reason that they were not staring at many deals right now is they were too quick to hang up the phone and not work them. So here's what needs to happen. You need to take every single call that comes in and do your best to make an opportunity out of this. What does that mean? When they say, I don't like your number, your next thing is, I get it. What's your number? That's it. Find out what their number is. And if you know, and it's not too late to go back too, by the way. This is another conversation that we had. Well, first I want you to do them when they come in. Every single call that comes in, good, bad, or otherwise, all you need to find out is if they want to sell. Great, got that out of the way. What's the number? Is it and hopefully it's mine. If it's not mine, you don't just go, oh, darn, and just hang up and give up. No, find out what their number is. There's some that have, sure, they're going to have a retail number, and those really don't want to sell. That's just another way of saying, I don't want to sell, but they didn't want to admit it. When they give you twice what the next door neighbor paid or, sold for, that's another way of I don't want to sell. But ask what really there is. Explain who you are. Explain how you roll. Explain you're an owner. Tell them how easy this is. We buy ugly houses. This is not a corporation. It's you and me making a deal. And I just trying to find out what number works for you, and I'll get some money in your pocket. That's it. The other thing is, where was my going? Another little thing about, what was my other comment? I said, I'll get to that in a second. Shucks, I lost my own train of thought.
Here's what she's really saying. Sell. And I don't mean used car salesman in the middle of the night jumping up and down in a chimpanzee suit. That's not what I mean. There are books and books and books and videos and seminars and all kinds of things about winning friends and influencing people.
Avoiding friends?
No, I'm really serious about this. I'm not joking. You need to teach yourself or get a partner like this that I have to have a dynamic personality. You're going to get everything you want out of this business and out of life.
Yeah.
So if that's, if you haven't done that yet, you're just kind of hid in a hole like me in a dark room. And, I had to teach myself to have a dynamic personality when we started Land Academy. This is not, who I used to be.
I truthfully believe
and probably failed at it.
Over 75% of the calls that we get, I'm being very conservative here when I say 75%, but 75% of the calls that come in off every mailer, there's a deal there.
That's what I think.
You are just not getting the number out of them. And it's not too late,
powerful,
by the way.
Powerful as hell, Jill.
Thank you. It's not too late to call them back. So, and I've talked to people about this. Who cares? Hey, I know you called me a month ago. Yep, I know you didn't like my offer. We had a conversation. I understand where you were coming from. I thought about it more. I realized, it might be worth more because it has X, Y, and Z, but I'm not a retail person. Do you really want to sell? And what is your, what's your bottom number? What really would kind of work for you that you think would work for me? And I'll try to make it work. That's not nuts. You can do this. And that's my number one thing. Think about that. 2/3 of your phone calls, you better get a number out of them. And if you're not getting a number out of these, work on your phone calls, get comfortable, practice. And just say it. You just have to I know they're mad, calm them down, agree with them, like, oops, I may have goofed up, you never have to say it's just I may have made a mistake. You're not really admitting it because maybe you didn't. Sometimes I've had these conversations too. Why don't you just get them talking? I may have made a mistake. And then in the very end of the conversation, my number's lower than what we started. but we're over it. They just have to get over that initial, heat, whatever you want to call it, that they've got going on right now. And then when they talk to you and they find out you're a real person, You're just trying to get it out of them.
I would argue this, just from an hours in the day standpoint. I bet Jill spends twice as many hours in the day as I do in each of our roles. And so, but yet we talk about all this data and this and the spraying stuff all the time. The fact is, she probably works, I know she works twice as hard, and she probably spends twice as many hours, or she and her staff do, than me and my staff do with what I'm responsible for. I know that she does because I'm responsible for all the Land Academy companies and all that other stuff because I have time. She doesn't. She does deals. And she's on the phone all day.
That's great information.
I don't think that people understand once that mailer goes out.
Your work's not done. You don't just sit back and
if
go,
you have a
hey,
half
watching
hour,
the mail.
Look, if someone calls up and says, you're an a-hole and I can't stand it, and this is the worst offer I've ever gotten, and I really have no respect for you any longer, what do you say?
I may have made a mistake. I apologize. My goal was not to set out to offend you. That calms everybody right down.
And do you want to sell?
Yeah. And do you want to sell?
Okay,
I get that this is not the right number.
This is not, but
what is your number?
Yes.
Okay.
You offered me $30,000. This is ridiculous. I know my property's worth $50,000.
Okay. Well, hold on a moment. I'm not retail. That's not who I am. I'm not an agent. I'm not, going to be doing this, spending however much time on this transaction.
And then this person's thinking, okay, she's not that much of a crazy person. All right. Then they're going to say something like this. Then maybe 45,000 I could live with. So their anger, what's not being conveyed, and this is my fault, is that angry people want to sell their property. It's just an issue with price.
Yep.
The people who sign the offers and say, oh my gosh, thank you, your timing's perfect, also want to sell their property. They just want to do it cheaper. So the more deals you do, that average gets better and better and better.
Yeah.
And your profit margin gets better and better and better. So maybe in the case of the $45,000 angry guy, Jill looks it up, or she asks me to, because now it's in our CRM, and says, I really think this thing's worth $70,000. I know we're not doubling our money, but it's got access and it's got all this and it's got that. And I know we can turn it because we turned a property like that 3 weeks ago. That's making a deal. Vast majority of people, I think, would just say, oh my God, that person's so angry with me. I'm sorry, sir. Goodbye.
Right. Take me off your list. Okay. Well, hold on a moment. It becomes more of a look. Now you know how I roll. What is your bottom number? I'll see if I can make that work. And then let them come up with a number. And sometimes they might go, let me talk to my wife and get back to you. I love that. Great. Okay. Do you want me to call you tomorrow? Do you want me to call you tonight after dinner? What's the best?
So,
when can we chat again?
And please know this. You're 1,000 times better at this than this seller is. You do deals all the time.
Right.
This person's going to do 1 or 2 deals in their entire life. So they don't know about the property. They don't probably never seen it. Maybe they inherited it. Maybe it's all riddled with terrible memories for them and they just want to get rid of it. You don't know. But if you talk to them for 20 or 30 minutes and they calm down and they start talking about pricing, and you've got it pulled up on your computer screen and it's within reason. It's not, it's below retail still. You're going to do a deal with, Joe will do a deal with that person, what I just described.
It's funny. I'm going to end it on this. You would be surprised how many people, when I have this conversation, they come back with a number, it's not far off. It's like maybe I offered 18,752. After a few minutes of talking, everybody's calmed down. I found out about the property. They realize, yeah, you're right. That road floods a couple times a year. I'm never going to use it. My wife's hated it. I wanted to build. She thought I was nuts. And then they go, all right, Jill, would you take, Jill, I would sell it for 25. I'm like, come on, 18 to 25, I can usually swallow that.
And I'm pricing these letters at 20 to 30% anyway. So now let's say the property's at 35 to 38% of what we know we can sell it for, or retail.
I can make
There's
that
still
work.
a huge margin in
and
that.
Don't dig in, too. Don't be that guy too. Go, nope, that's not what I'm doing. Don't want to be like, oh, I can't go $1 over 20. When you're, yeah, you know what's a good deal. And if you needed to hang up and take some time to look it over, do that too.
I would heavily recommend, and I never do this, to never take a negotiation class. Negotiation classes are how to get the most out of somebody. That's the headline. That's not what we do here.
Yeah, I don't.
We
look
how
at
to
it
get
like
a
that.
deal done is what we
I just
do
need a
here.
number.
And still make some money
Mm-hmm.
within reason, not squeeze every penny out of somebody. And this whole notion of, are you happy? No. Are you happy? No. Good, we got a deal. I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
That's a bad marriage is what that is. And it's going to end.
It's like the people that walk around with a trophy because they reset the market. I do not want to reset the market.
On the high and the
on
low.
the low. No, I don't want to reset the market at all.
On
I
the
wanted
low,
to happily
she
do
means
well.
buying the most expensive house in the or piece of land in the neighborhood,
Right.
or on the other side, the cheapest. No, that's not who we are at all.
No.
On the low end, you're taking advantage of somebody. On the high end, they're
You're still taking advantage of
buying
somebody.
Countertops. They're not buying.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about math. You don't want that either.
Thank you.
think
It's
we
a
made
good
our
show.
point, yeah.
Happy you could join us today. Every day, 5 days a week, you can find us right here on the Land Academy Show.
Tomorrow, the episode on the Land Academy show is Jack Thursday, and I talk about Land Academy members with personality disorders. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.
I clearly did not have any say in the topics that were chosen this week, or at least the titles. There's some interesting ones that were thrown in here. So this ought to be, I'm just as excited as you are for tomorrow's show.
I'm going to tell some stories.
That's going to be good. If you need access to any sort of ownership or property details, including owner phone numbers and FEMA flood map overlays, check out neighborscoop.com or parcelfact.com. Created by investors, that's us, for investors like you.
We're Steve and Jill.
and
Information
inspiration.
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.